So they rule over the school. Sufism, and basically they create that upper part and that elite structure that is the Muslim Illuminati. So it's very easy to really find out who are the Muslim Illuminati. You just need to go and check who are the descendants of Prophet Muhammad, and you will obviously find that these people are involved in these activities. Now, in the course of the centuries, the Muslim Illuminati, especially the ones of the family of that represent the elite of the elite, the family of the Prophet, have then assumed positions of power. Like, for example, in the Ottoman Empire, they would be put as sultans, they will assume the title of caliph, they would basically become in charge of the various universities. The most important university in the Muslim field is the university, as we know, that is based in Cairo. And then we have, obviously, Turkey. In Turkey we have also the basis of the Sufis, of the Illuminati of Islam, which reside in Konya. And there you have also the link nowadays with people like, for example, Prince Charles, who has converted to Sufism in a way and has become a follower of the Jalaluddin Rumi path.
Yeah.
Which, in a way, I respect, because Jalaluddin Rumi, on the contrary of Muhammad, was actually a man of tolerance and not of war. He only preached tolerance and the possibility for everybody, from the Jew, the pagan, the Christian, to all, come, whoever you are, even if you are a worshipper of fire. This is what Jalaluddin Rumi says. Well, this is very important, and in fact, inside where the tomb of Jalaluddin Rumi is, you have also a shrine where you have a piece of the beard of Prophet Muhammad. And Jalaluddin Rumi himself was obviously part of the Said family. He was another of these descendants, okay? So we can say that descendants of the Prophet, some of them have been more positive than the others. But nowadays, when the actual descendants of the Prophet Muhammad should be the ones who illuminate the way for all the other Muslims, an inspiration, an example, no, they are hiding, acting with the enemy, on conspiring for making business, for making things that are not really okay. They say they are doing education with the Gulen movement, opening 2,000 schools worldwide. But this education is basically propaganda and indoctrination, which talks about Arab superiority and also Ottoman Empire as the solution of all the problems. They are coming back very strong in Turkey. They have control over the Turkish government these days. The Prime Minister of Turkey had been guest with my family and his daughter. So, I mean, here we're talking about very high-level people. And I obviously was trying to find allies for my, for coming out of a war which I thought was a just war against these crooks. But, there is no interest from these people. These people want to continue doing their dirty business, and they see me as a threat, because I'm keeping on, exposing the people, and they're not happy about it.
When you first came out, you came out very strongly against the Vatican. Now you're coming out very strongly against the Muslims. Basically,
no, but I'm coming up also strongly against. Sorry, a second, Ogni. I'm coming up very strong against the Vatican and against the Muslims. This is regarding the fact that Thomas Michel, if people have been talking about me in a certain way in the last month or so, it's because of Thomas Michel and me. This photo of me and Thomas Michel, the fact that last year in May I went to this meeting of the Gulen movement where there was the Jesuits, and then I was criticized for having done that. Well, I regret having been there. I regret that I followed my wife's advice and I went there. I regret a lot of things that my wife made me do and that I did. Now that I can finally talk the truth about the whole thing, well, I'm just, going to tell the truth to everybody out there. These people are not the way forward, neither in Turkey, neither in Europe, neither in America. They are just religious fundamentalists that kind of transform themselves in the eyes of the people as tolerant, as nice, as understandable, when instead in their own families they are nothing but full of oppression, of fear, of prehistoric traditions that should be abolished, that treat the woman in a certain way, which we know very well, that, make basically life very difficult for somebody like me who's been brought up in the West. So I consider this alliance between the Jesuits, the Vatican, and the Gulen movement, because Fethullah Gulen visited the Pope, John Paul II, with Abdullah Aymas. And the fact that I was threatening these people with showing my picture with Abdullah Aymas obviously has made them very, very scared, because, you see, they got me arrested. And now they got the computers, they got the phones, and they can eventually erase the pictures. So maybe they can erase the picture. That's no problem. I have still plenty of evidence which is to my, to people who are coming here to interview me and I'm going to show them a lot more evidence that fortunately these people didn't manage to bring away. And I'm going to make sure that these people are exposed for the benefit of mankind. I expose the Judaic Christian side of the Illuminati. Well, it's about time I also expose the Muslim side of it. And I'm sorry that things went to this, that I didn't realize certain things before, because obviously I was very skeptical with what was happening when I started to see, especially in the movement of my wife, all this vicinity with the Jesuits and all this connection. I started to become very worried for myself. I said, maybe they will, they are manipulating me in some way, and I still don't know what is that manipulation, where it's going to end up. Well, they tried to manipulate me. Obviously, my wife gave me even an ultimatum. She said, either you do this, basically, either I became a fundamentalist Muslim, just on the Quran 24 hours a day, and going out in the public only talking about the Quran, and stop with my Illuminati confessions, and stop with all the other work I'm doing. Well, in that case, I could have been, happily married. But because, I'm not going to stop with the work I'm doing. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop, even if I'm sorry, my son is the most precious thing for me in the world, but they're using him. And they're using him so they can stop me. But I'm sorry, they can keep my son, educate my son. I'm going to continue with my work, and if God wants, one day my son is going to realize that, and he's going to become one of us, not one of them. I know that obviously he's going to be brainwashed left, right, and center in the next few years. Poor kid,
So, you're saying that, Leo, I mean, from the tone I'm getting, from what I'm understanding, is you're currently expecting not to see your son for many years. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Hold on a second. So you got questioned by the police, and now you believe that you won't see your son again for years.
Yeah.
And there's no charges being brought against you. You've been released. They've kept your electronic equipment. Obviously, do background checks and different things. But you are currently expecting never to see your son, or maybe not to see him for, say, 16, 15 years. Is that what you're saying?